So in this class, let me recap in the last class what we have done. So we went to our design center and we have created project for our API specification. We had a requirement to implement some bank API. Okay. So for that, we started writing specification as per the requirement. And we learned few things over there. What is query parameter? What is URI parameters? What is RAML look like, right? And we started with the basic skeleton where we found, the root RAML file for a specification project. We talked about exchange.json, what it is. And then we actually, got familiarity with this UI, right? The design center UI. Clear? Yeah. So now if you look at the skeleton right now, which we have created, it's a very basic. Okay. So now if you look at the, let me start my whiteboard. So sometimes what we need some validation, right? So for example, we till now we talked about the query parameter, right? We are passing in the URL. Now for this query parameter, I wanted to do, let's say, validation. So for, let's say, I am passing some query parameter called email, or if I'm passing OTP, if I'm passing, let's say, mobile number, if I'm passing, let's say, captcha, right? If I'm passing account type, now for account type, we have seen if I want to give a predefined values, I can use simple something called Enum. Enum is nothing but in programming language, predefined static values. Right? So here our RAML is a typed language. Okay, so in typed language, it will always a case sensitive. Okay, so whatever values you are defining under Enum, only those values will be accepted by this parameter. Both in case those are case sensitive, and only those values will be accepted by this account type. That means some kind of restrictions I'm putting over here. Boss, if you pass only those values, I'll allow for this parameter. Clear, Kunal? Are you there?
I am here.
Okay. Yeah. Now, let's say, so now for the captcha, can I use enum? No, I can't, right? So captcha is something, a fixed string randomly generated. I say alphanumeric, right? This has to be alphanumeric fixed character, right? The length is fixed. So that has to be generated for captcha. There is no predefined value for this. Mobile number is something, again, a 10-digit only number, right? So I can say this is 10-digit number. So some kind of restrictions I supposed to place on this particular query parameters. This can be a field or attribute of your data structure. This can be query parameter. This can be URI parameter. This can be header parameter. But the concept will be same. If you wanted to put a validation, so this should be a 10-digit number. I cannot pass character here, right? Then comes the OTP. Let's say this OTP is your 6-digit number, right? Based on your requirement, it could be 4-digit, it could be 6-digit, or it could be something else, but it will be a number. It's a OTP. Now you have email. Email has its own pattern, right? So I cannot send something like xyz.xyz. Not allowed, right? It has to have some format. So can I do this validations, all these validations without writing a single line of code? Can I do this validation in my specification itself so that I'll avoid these problems on end system? Okay. So we have something called pattern. Okay. We can use pattern just like we use enum. Below these properties, we can pass the pattern and we can give a regular expressions. Regular expressions. Okay. Now this is part of validation. We can validate. Now some field could be, if you don't know the data type, some field can have multiple data types. Sometimes they could be a string
vector,
or they could be a number also. So we can pass this kind of data type, multiple data type for our properties. Let's say instead of saying parameter, we'll say properties. This could be a properties, right? So if these are the part of your data structure, if you want to do validation, we can use a pattern for that. Inside the pattern, we can pass the regular expression. And with this help of pattern and regular expression, I don't need to write any single line of code for validation. This will take care of validation. Okay, clear? And then even your property can have multiple data types. Now we can use the inbuilt data type, just like integer, number, array, or we can create our, so we can say we can use inbuilt data type for properties, or we can write our own custom data type. Okay. So if you remember, I was talking about account. Account is a property, right? For account, I'll be creating my custom data type for that. Right. So I will say there has to be account ID, there has to be account type, there has to be branch, and those properties will have their own data type. We'll see those. So are we clear with this?
Yes.
Okay. So for time being, right now, I'll add that over here itself. So for example, now the branch is there, right? Now account type, we already put some kind of restrictions over here. See, on account type. Now if I go down and if I say, okay, boss, I need a email over here. Now for email, I'm saying, yes, it will be a string. So if I say type, right? Colon. Okay, so let me put the space over here. So it should be a string, right? Then it depends. Okay, one more thing I wanted to explain here. If I don't mention the type and the required field for any property, okay, for any property, the default it is string and required is equal to true. Even if I don't define anything for that property, by default type is string and required is equal to true. Okay. So best practice says you should mention, otherwise it won't be readable. So for example, if I don't mention type over here, email is still string and required is equal to true. I can show you that. Okay. So if you see the alignment is wrong over here, it has to come at this level, right? Now I didn't mention anything for the email, right? Let's have a look at it. What is the type it is containing? So we are under get, right? Under get, if you go and if you see the query parameter, have a look at it. Email. See what it is? It's a required is equal to true and type is equal to string. Clearly see here. Okay. Now if I pass a example for this guy, for each parameter, each property, you can give example. Now, right now, if I say xyz dot abc, It's allowing me. It's not throwing any error. It's saying that this email is correct. But is it correct? No.
No.
Right? Now
Yes.
here we can give a pattern now. See, so you can even see the shelf. Shelf will support you. See here, shelf is giving option. So since your cursor is here, again I'm repeating, based on your cursor position, your shelf will give you the correct options. Okay. Now it's your responsibility to from your shelf what you wanted to select. Now I wanted to select pattern from here. Okay. So now for email validation pattern, you can go ahead and Google regular expressions for that, but I don't want to do that. I have already, but don't need to mug up. Okay. So I have already expression for regular expression for the validating email. Okay. You can go ahead and Google it. You'll find n number of examples for the email validation. Okay. So I'll take one pattern. So for example, email pattern, I'll just take this one. I'll just put it here. Okay. So now if you look at this, now the moment I add this pattern, now it's throwing me error. See, it says that this is not valid email address. Now with this pattern and regular expression, now I need to pass the correct email address, then only it will work. So elect XYZ, or I can say I'll write my Ashish dot @gmail.com. Right? Now, if I type this, it will say this is the correct. Okay. It could be .in also, right?
Mm. Yep.
That is also accepted, right? So this way we'll give a proper. So the Kunal.b you can use now XYZ, because XYZ is a valid company, right? Valid domain, xyz.com. Now can I remove this .com? No. So see, did I write any code for validation? Now it's taking care of my email. Clear now, Kunal?
Yeah. So you said I can get this pattern online, right?
Yeah, based on your requirement, you can write your regular expression also, right? But you need to learn that. What is this regular expression means? Okay. So there are online, so many helps are available. What is this regular pattern means? If you look at clearly, right? See, it should start with either small characters or digits or hyphen or underscore. Not, you cannot start any other than this. See, possible strings are this. Possible characters are this. Either 0 to 9, hyphen or small. Okay, so if I go ahead and say, if I type capital K,
It will throw the error. Yeah.
so you need to understand what kind of pattern you want. Based on your requirement, even you can write your regular expression. Okay, hope you got my point.
Yeah.
So one of the example I took it from, I didn't write it. Okay, I don't want to take any credit for
I can
this.
give multiple pattern as well.
Yes. You wanted to give, you go ahead and give the pattern. Okay.
I need to concatenate.
Yeah. So you need to pass OR operator over there. This is OR operator, and go ahead. Clear?
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. So now during design time itself, you can validate by giving this example. Now, whether this pattern is working or not, we are checking via directly here itself, here without running my specification. Directly I'm getting it here. See now. Clear? Here itself during design time. If I miss anything, here itself, I will be fixing that. Now we'll talk about one thing where, let's say for example, my query parameter or my properties, let's say f name or first name. Okay. If I don't give type and required, right, that means it's a string and it's required, right? Now I don't want to allow the more than 10 characters. Now what option I have? If you look at here properly, okay. So if you go to f name, you can go ahead and if you say type string, okay. Now down here, if you see, you can give either enum option we already seen. Now you can give, say, I wanted to fix, let's say, max length. Let's say for now, for testing, we'll go with 5 characters. Now I'll go ahead and test it. Just a second, Kunala.
Sure.
Hey, Kunal, I'm back. Okay. So now with the example, you can go ahead and test it. Okay. So if I say example, go ahead. And now you look at passing more characters. Okay. So max length. So A, it's valid. B, C, 3 lengths are valid. D, E, till here it's valid. The moment I add F over here, see, it will throw error. Now, even if you want to fix a minimum also here, you can go ahead and you can say mean length. Okay, so you go ahead and mean length. If you give 5, okay, still it's error. And if you give less than 5, it won't work. So you are fixing max length and mean length, right? So this will be very, very helpful for CAPTCHA. If I go ahead and say CAPTCHA, CAPTCHA is very known alphanumeric string, right? If you're worried about if you are really using banking, you'll be very familiar with. So in the CAPTCHA, if you
The captcha we should add like a string as well as number, right?
yes. So right now string allowing everything. So if I go ahead and say instead of C, E, it will allow me. Sorry, digit. String allowed, okay, everything. So alphanumeric, this guy will allow. But sometime what happens, Kunal, I don't want to allow special characters here. Sometime, right? You'll be having that kind of requirement also. So you can go ahead and write that expression also. For example, in the CAPTCHA, I wanted to allow, let's say, I'll go ahead and I'll try to write this pattern for you. Okay, so let me do that. So definitely, I wanted to have 6 character. Mean and max 6 has to be there. Okay, that is my that is my CAPTCHA looks like. Now I wanted to allow only digits, small characters, and capital characters, and the length has to be 6. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to write the pattern. So pattern, I'll go ahead and say pattern. Okay, and in the pattern, so your strings should start with, so there is a character called this tilde character, not tilde, I think this is exponential character. Then the square bracket, you can give what you really want. Okay, so I'll say I'll give a range from 0 to 9, I'll allow. Okay, and I'll allow small characters, small a to small z, and I'll allow capital A to capital Z. Okay, this is what I'll allow. Okay. Now, then I'm saying, okay, so if you look at right now, if you see what is the error right now, example value. So starting, it could be anything, right?
Yes.
So if I give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I need to finish it off. So my pattern is not yet done. So you can give the string length here also. So by giving this digit here, how many characters you want inside your in your pattern. So you can go ahead and say this. the example value for schema inside if I should be string. Okay. So I don't want to give string. Okay. So it has to be string. So your captcha cannot be all this. So if you want to give really, if you want to make this string, then you need to go ahead and write in double quotes. Okay. Because if you want to treat this number as a string, then you need to give that. Okay. So now the moment you add one character, right, it becomes automatically becomes the, and then something like this, right? Now, can I add any special character now? No way, right? So this kind of requirement we can achieve. So now see, in the single one line, I'm able to give you the proper code for this captcha, and it will do the validation properly for us. Clear? Hope this is clear to you.
Yes.
Right? Now I'll give assignment for you. Try OTP. Okay. And I'll give you one more assignment for month. Okay. I want to sorry, month in the same line. Okay. So go ahead and tomorrow you show me for OTP and for month. Okay. How you are how you are handling it. Okay. So month, you know that, right? Month has to be within 1 and 12. OTP, I want between, I want OTP 6 digit. Okay. 6 digit only. Okay. Let me know how you are going to handle it. Am I clear with the assignment?
Yes, yes.
OTP and month. You can go ahead and find some more, but that is what my yeah. So now let's go ahead and I'll try to create now custom. Okay. So I'll remove this. Okay. Now we don't want this. Okay. I'll share these patterns and examples in our notes. Okay. So instead of that, well, what I'll do is I'll give this in our, we have, which one is shared one? Yeah.
Better than this, if we have file, then I can like get it more clear, because it will be like added, everything will be added.
Okay.
So,
Anyway, we'll keep that file over there. Okay.
that's fine.
Okay. So for today's class, I prepare one file and it will be there. Clear?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to our, yeah. So now I wanted to discuss this one. So now one more property. So let's say now I have some property, let's say, some dummy property. Now sometime it will be handling a string. Sometime I want to have a number here. Okay. Or sometime it could be an object. Okay. So now the same property can have these many data type. So now first what I'll do is I'll create my custom data type. So I'll say dummy one. Okay. And I'll say as object. So I'll write a properties. And under that property, I'll give a name, something like, so sometime so this string is nothing but, let's say a name property. So this dummy is actually handling name. Sometimes it handles age. Sometimes it handles, object. Okay. So first is I'll say name. Okay. So instead of writing here, we'll directly go to our okay. So I'll minimize a lot of things here. We don't need right now. Okay. So in our, if I want to create a custom data types, so we are going to introduce new keyword over here. The keyword is called types. By using types keyword, I can write my own data types. So first data type I'll write, go ahead and I'll say, or maybe I'll say, yeah, let's go ahead and say dummy. Okay, dummy one. And I say enter. I say this is my object. So I can go ahead and use one more keyword called properties. Now in this object, I can have multiple properties. Okay, so I'll just go with the first property called fname. Okay, and if I don't define anything, what it will be? It will be a string and required is equal to true. Now I can create n number of data types here. So now I'll create one more data type called dummy2. Again, I'll say this is a object, and here I'll say age. Okay. Now if I don't mention anything, age will be string, but I don't want age as a string. So without passing type also, I can write, this is a shortcut, number. Now my age will be a number. If I go down and if I mention example here, example. Okay. So if you want to give example here, then you need to go with the proper structure. Okay. So if I go give a number like this, I can't go, I can go example. Okay, it's not allowing me to write this way. So if I change the pattern, I go down. And if I say number, now I can give example. Okay, this way it will allow. Otherwise, it won't allow if I directly give a number over there. Okay, so you can give now 1, 2, 3, 4. But if I pass a string over here, XYZ, okay, it will throw me error. So I'm just trying to cover the basics. Okay, Kunal.
Yeah. So we can set 1, 2, and 3. Like minimum 1 and maximum is 3, right? Age number should be.
Yeah, if you want to put those restrictions, you can go ahead and add those. I gave you already one assignment, right? So yeah. Now, now if I create a field over here, okay. So I'll go here and I'll say under query parameters, let's say that field is some random field. Now under type, okay. Now I don't want to use integer or string or number from the inbuilt data type. I'll go ahead and use my own custom data type. So if you remember, see, I have dummy one option now. I'll go ahead and say, or I can give dummy two. Now this dummy property can have, so I can go ahead now and I can use examples now. Okay. Now I can use examples now, because right, your dummy can have, I just go ahead and say example one I wanted to give, and that could be your fname colon, you can pass Ashish, right? This could be one example, and second example could be the same field. Okay, example. Hope you are getting my point. If you have any questions, let me know here. Age, and I'll say 35. See here. So sometime your dummy property will have this particular pattern. Sometime it can accept this also. So now in dummy, you can pass this object or this object. Hope this is clear to you. So I give a different scenario right now here, right? So your one property can have two different data types, and those that type could be custom data type. Those I have created over here. Now, if you wanted to use inbuilt, you can freely go ahead and say here string, right? And instead of object, you can just pass over here example. You can just pass. Clear? See, now this is inbuilt. This is custom. Sometime you're expecting here a string. So just now one example I gave, right? Name, so string, age, number, and then object. So if you go back here, if you wanted to have age, right? I'll go ahead and say number. And I'll say no. Now dummy 2 is object. You can go ahead now. Example 3 here. Example 3. I can have number 100. Clear? See, now number is also acceptable, string is also acceptable, and object is also acceptable within one property, which is dummy.
Okay.
Clear, Kunal?
Yes.
Very clear?
Yep, yep. We can
Okay.
pass it.
Yeah. So now, sorry.
I'm fine.
Sorry.
Are you fine?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's sometime, continue speaking, I'll get hiccups.
You can have water.
Yeah. Now, your property can have different type of data. Your property can have array also. So now we have seen a property which is having only single value. We have seen property where you can have different values, but at a time single value only. Different values, but at a time single value. You cannot have 100 and Ashish at the same time. No, it will hold only single value, either of this, string, number, or dummy. Now, if I want to give the array of elements, right, how the my property will look like. If it is object, I can give like this. So dummy one is object. If my property needs to have different kind of values, this is the way of doing it. Now I wanted to go ahead and have a data type called, let's say, for example, some values. I'll go ahead and do that. Let's say, for example, we have, so let's say account type itself. Account type, I want to give a different flavor now. So account type, and I wanted to say this is a type array. Okay, type, and I'll say I have options, so I'll select array. Now inside this array, I wanted to give items. Okay, so what all things are there? So I can go ahead and say down. So in array, right, you'll be having different elements. So I'll say items. Okay, so these all are keywords or predefined keywords. And then inside this, I can go ahead and say properties. Okay, and in the property, okay, you can give account ID, and you can mention that how it looks. Okay, so account, sorry, it should be, myself should follow the proper naming convention, the best practice. Account type. Okay, then you can go ahead and have, so now this, right, so this account type is an array, and inside that array you can have object, okay, where you'll be having this account ID and account type as the properties. So this, inside the account type, you can have multiple objects as an array. Clear?
What is account type then? It is.
So, okay, how it looks. Okay, so for example, let's go ahead and give an example over here. Okay, how it looks. So you go here at this level and say example. Okay, and now your example will be in the under square bracket, and then you can have curly bracket, one object where we'll be giving Control C, Control V. Okay, and you can pass the values. So account ID, if say 1, 2, 3, 4, it won't allow you. So you go ahead and give in double quotes. So this is your, and then second one is your account type. So let's say I'll say loan. So what is the problem? I said examples. See here now, I can go ahead and I can keep on sending this kind of objects. Okay.
Okay.
You're getting it, right?
Hmm.
See, clear? So in the property itself, we have seen so many varieties. Okay, so I'll keep all these things in a snippet file and you'll get it. Okay, so for now, we'll go ahead with our requirements. I'll remove this dummy from here. Okay, I'll remove this from here, all the types. Hope you are clear with this. In the same file, I am dumping everything right now. If you're noticing, right? Okay. So now if we go back, okay, so now we have the get method. We have proper responses here. Now, if you notice, if you remember, as per our requirement, what we said, my API will be having error codes. That is fine. My API will allow these protocols. That is fine. Now, we want one more thing we have mentioned that our API will be secured by OAuth token, right? If you remember.
Yes.
So to apply the security on our our resources, all our API, we are going to introduce one more keyword now, that is called, if you look at our shelf, right? See, can I use something from here? Yes. There is something called security schemes. Okay. And if I go here, security scheme, I'll give a name. If you wanted to use a custom security, we can go ahead and use that. Okay. But you can go ahead and say, new security scheme. So we'll define, let's say, for example, X hyphen. Okay. Okay. Then you'll describe it basically. Okay. So there is a keyword called described by. So this is your security scheme. You want X auth and you need to describe it. Okay. So you need to describe whenever you pass your auth token. If you notice, when you trigger any API, you pass that auth token in your headers, right? Under headers, you'll pass it. So I'll just give authorization header. Okay. And under authorization header, I don't need to pass anything. Okay. So this should be, what is the error we are getting? What is this? Security scheme is the object. What syntax error we are getting? Just a second, let me check. Okay. So security authorization type is mandatory. Okay, we'll fix it. Okay. So you'll pass authorization, and if anything fails here, right? So if your authorization fails, what you do? You actually give a response, and that response will be, remember what will be response? 401. And under 401, you'll be passing the description or a body. The description also, authentication field, and you'll be having body, and you'll give body over here application JSON, and inside that there'll be a proper error saying that example. Always why examples is getting selected. Okay, example, and here we'll pass a body. Clear? Kunal?
After application JSON, we need to write the example. Otherwise, it will not allow us, right? It will throw the
Without, I mean, if you want to write example, definitely you need a example keyword. Okay, directly after application JSON, you need a keyword, either example or examples. Okay, and we have seen that. Correct? Are you getting me?
Yep.
Right? So you need an example keyword. Just wanted to check the syntax for security. So what is going wrong? Let me quickly go ahead and check my notes. Okay, so okay, so here it was keep on asking me to give type. Okay. So we have multiple options here. We can go ahead with basic authentication. We can go ahead with digest authentication, OAuth 1.0, 2.0, pass through. Okay. So basic authentication is username, password. Digest authentication is we need to pass some kind of digest. OAuth 1.0 nobody is using, it's deprecated now. OAuth 2.0 means we can go ahead and pass our BRA token. Okay. So same thing I'm trying to implement via custom. Okay. So I guess this type is mandatory. We have added it now. What's wrong with this? Syntax error.
It's not showing what is the solution.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, that's fine. Type is mandatory. So I have added the type. What's wrong with now? Okay, so you'll pass the example. Let's see. Or let's not add. Let's say add, because of framework will add the error and all that. So we'll just say here unauthorized access. Okay. So syntax, I don't know why this guy. Got it. Okay, so this is a indentation problem. Described by headers. Type is mandatory. I have added it. New security schemes. Okay, let's go ahead and look at whatever it's asking. So if I say auth 2.0, YAML expected security schemes. Do you see any indentation problem?
I don't think so.
If you go
But
here,
the security schemes should be there, right?
Yeah. With this keyword, we'll be able to, only with this keyword, we'll be able to, response is not supported, described by headers. It's really strange. Okay. So Your custom name should be coming with X hyphen, and then whatever name you want to give, you'll be giving. Okay, so I'll fix this. I don't want to waste time. I'll see what's wrong with this. But this is the exact way of giving you secret scheme. Okay, so I'll put it in. Let me try one more way. Okay, so I'll just create one more file here. Okay, so new file, and we'll go ahead and say I wanted to create security scheme. Let's create this simple file right now, and this is a security scheme, right? If I go ahead and just put my part over here, shift, okay, yeah, perfectly fine, no errors. Okay, I'll see why that guy is throwing error. Okay, so now this security scheme we can go ahead and apply on our. So this is the example of actually fragmentation, right? Instead of writing in this file, we are writing in other file, and from there we'll be referring. Okay. So if you want to refer that, okay, let's say since we have created it, let's start and start referring it. So now if you want to refer that, the keyword use is security schemes. Okay, and then you need to create a reference object for this particular file. So I'll just create custom security. I'll just create this reference object, and we need a include keyword.
Include.
Okay, so now we'll be including that security scheme. So directly we have only one file over this. I'm including it. Now I want to secure my APIs. Now I can secure entire API. Okay, that means all the resources, your account resource, your customer resource, all will be secured by that custom security. To secure the custom security and apply this object, reference object of that security scheme, we have keyword called secured by. Now you can apply n number of security schemes on your API. So that's the reason it's showing me a array. I can go ahead and first apply this custom security. I'll go ahead and apply this. The moment I apply this now, all the methods from all the resources are secured now. If you go to get now, see, security is applied on this. What is the security? XAuth, and you need to pass the authorization header now. Now, if you open any method now, see in one shot, with one line, I'm able to apply security on all the methods on all the resources. This is one way of applying the security. Okay. Second way, you can go ahead and say Control X. I don't want to apply on all the resources. I want to apply on specific resource. You can go under this and apply it. Now, only these account methods are secured now. So now see get method and post method of this resource. Now, if you go to the methods of customer now, no security, see, no security. If I go to the get and post, custom security is applied on here, you need to pass authorization. Second option. So you can go to specific resource and apply that security. We have seen entire API got secured by this security scheme. Second way, we have seen a specific resource. Now here also there is a trick, okay? Kunal, so if I look at the get method and post method, since this get method and post method at the, we can say the first level child of this resource account, this custom security will get applied. But if I open the account ID is a child of this account, right? And under that I have put and delete method. Let's see what happens to the put and delete method. Whether the security is applied on that, let's see. No. Right? That means the first level members, the get, post, these are first level. Put and delete, these are second level, right? So if I want to apply the security on this guy, now I need to go inside this guy and apply that. Okay, so I'll go and use a tab properly. Now put and delete it have the security. Are you clear? So you can go to the resource level, we can go to the API level. Third way is we can even go, I'll remove this. And now if we go back to get and post of my accounts, there is no security. Now, if say your intention is, I want to apply security only on get method, not on post method, then you can go at even get method level and apply that security. Okay. So now only from this account resource, from this API, only get method is getting secured by security. See, only get method. Right? If I go back to post method, no security. See here.
So that means if we want to use the get method, then only we need to pass the
security authorization token. Correct. If you are using post method, you don't need to pass it. Clear? So we can go method level, we can go resource level, we can go even API level. All three levels you can apply the security. Clear? Kunal? Clear? Okay. Now if you look at, yeah, go ahead.
As you told that get and post are the first child of account, right?
Correct.
And that's why they are allowed to have security, but
Yes.
account ID was not allowed.
Yes.
So if we pass in a header, it will be the same scenario, or it will be allowed for the whole API. It will
Now
be
where you
allowed.
are applying it, where you are applying, anyway you need to pass it a header only, that value, authorization token. But this security scheme, or at what level you applied. If you applied at this level, any method from any resource you are accessing, you need to pass that. Okay. So let's have a look at it. If I remove from here, okay, under get, I have applied it. From here also I'll remove. So let's go at this level. This is a global level. You are applying at API level. Now, if I go and check each and every method, see even account ID, put method, see security is there. And now to access this method of account ID, you need to pass the authorization token in header. See here. Any method you take it, if you apply at this level, any method will get security. I need to pass that value in the header. Second level, we say if you go under resource, then it won't get applied on the second level child. It will only apply on the first level child. If you go to specific method, only that method will get a security, nobody else. So when you are accessing only that method level, let's say from your client, then when you are accessing that get method of accounts, that time only you need to pass the header authorization. Otherwise, all other methods will be freely accessible. Clear? 3 level of applying security schemes I have just now shown.
Okay.
Clear?
So if we pass it globally, it will be there for every method.
Yes, every method at any level. There is no limit over there if I apply it at this level.
And that's the best way, right?
That's the best way. I'm just showing you multiple ways of doing it. Okay. Yeah. Because now why I'm showing it, let's say for example, I have custom security and I have one more. So for example, I'll go ahead and create one more file. And this time I'm going to create a security scheme. Okay. I'll just go ahead. I'm just randomly giving name. Okay. I didn't give any name. Okay. So type. Now this time I wanted to go with let's say basic authentication, right? Why I'm not getting options? Type, I should get options. Yeah, basic authentication, okay? And after that, I'll say described by, okay? And I wanted to have, let's say headers. Okay, in header, I'll say username. And in a second header, I want password. Okay. And then finally, I'll say responses. Okay. And here I'll say 401. I'll just give a description because the rest of the thing will be done by framework itself. What kind of error and all that. So here I'll say unauthorized access. Now, look at this. I have one more security scheme. Now, on a get method, I want to apply authorization, which is token. And on my post method, I want to apply basic authentication. Now tell me, how will you do it? Can I go ahead and apply at the global level?
No.
Can I apply it?
No.
I want to apply security, OAuth 2 on get method and basic authentication on post method. How will I do it now?
And you need to pass it
at method level, right? So I give you use case where it will be useful. So now I need to first go ahead and say basic, right? Basic auth. I'll be creating a reference variable. I say include, right? The moment I give exclamatory, then it will say select this. Now, now let's see, okay? I'll go at the post method level and I'll see, okay? So global level, I'm applying OAuth and the method level I'm applying. Let's go ahead and apply secured by, okay? And now this time I'll say basic auth. Now let's, we need to remove that colon, okay? I think some bug. I'm just selecting that time it's giving me colon. That colon should not be there, okay? Okay. So now if you look at the post method, what all thing we are getting? See here, the high level, the global level is getting overridden by the method level security scheme. See here, now I could see only one, which is username and password. I don't see that authorization, but if I go to the get method, see it's giving me a global level, that is authorization string, which is header.
Okay, so if we have passed at the method level, it will be overridden.
The method level will get the precedence over the global level.
Okay.
The global level is common for all. If you wanted to go and apply a specific security scheme on that method, go ahead and apply it. Just now I did. Clear? So which one will get precedence? The method level will take a precedence. Clear? So we'll stop here today and we'll continue tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Tomorrow we will continue, right?